This is the B3 Radio Network. B3 Radio Network. Visit us online at b3productionstudios.webs.com. In a world where car companies are numbered in the hundreds, Chevrolet, Pontiac, Honda, Mitsubishi, Kawasaki, Cadillac, Oldsmobile, Lotus, Toyota, Acura, BMW, Lexus, you need to know the facts, the latest information for everything about cars, trucks, motorcycles, and ATVs. This is Speed.
Welcome to Speed on the B3 Radio Network. I am Brian Bombarios, and my co-host in the corner over there, Boontarn MacGyver Horn.
Hello. And
don't forget, every show and every series and show on the B3 Radio Network is webcast out there in viewing, watching land. And don't forget to visit our website, b3productionstudios.webs.com, for the latest information and all available shows on the B3 Radio Network. And let's just jump right into it, since this week there's a lot of car news, especially from the Detroit Auto Show that just ended last week.
Oh, yes.
And I would like to start with the brand new Chevrolet Code 130R concept. Should General Motors even build this vehicle? I hope so, because it is a really nice looking concept vehicle that I think should go into production as soon as possible. The one thing I have to say about this vehicle is that it's a concept, and with the amount of styling that this vehicle has, it directly competes with some of the automakers from Japan. Specifically, that's because after about 2 years, Toyota and Subaru have collaborated together to form how the two companies have united together, so that way they can save money on parts and engineering. And I guess 2 years of this, the Toyota is going to finally release one of their sports cars, which I found out is called the Toyota GT86.
Oh, now they're making a GT car.
Yeah, Toyota is going to be releasing that within the next couple of years. Scion is going to also be releasing the FRS. I have no idea what that is. And also Subaru is the BRZ. They're small, lightweight, rear-wheel drive cars with about 200, maybe a little over 200 horsepower that are supposed to compete, not directly, but indirectly with the muscle cars. So they're for the tuners. The tuner category. Yes. And Chevrolet wants to get on this deal with this concept car.
So they're calling it the Code?
Yeah, right now, I guess there's no official name for it. It's just at the Detroit Auto Show, it was released as the Chevrolet Code 130R concept.
Actually, if you look at it carefully, it does look like a tuner. From a distance, it really does look like a tuner.
Yeah, that's the whole point of the vehicle. And the one thing I was reading on was that it directly competes with the Toyota and the Subaru, its new collaboration that the company has built. But the vehicle also
the 80s. Okay, no. I just thought about it now. The Toyota GT86. Okay, I know what that one is actually.
What is that?
It's actually an old car that they had before.
Oh, what, they're bringing it back then?
Yeah, it was a Torino. They called it a Torino. But because the 86 was always the code for it. Everybody calls it the 86.
Mm-hmm.
But,
the plans with the new Chevrolet concept vehicle is that what they want to do is put an inline 4 turbo supercharger it's pretty much using the engine that's in the Chevrolet Cruze right now. It's a turbocharged inline 4 engine.
And they're putting that on...
They want to put this on this vehicle.
On the code, right?
Yeah, on the 130 concept vehicle from Chevrolet. The only problem I have to say is that they're only releasing its specs. It's a concept vehicle, but they're rounding off the number to only 150 horsepower. And I have to say, in this day and age, that doesn't seem to cut it very much. The other two tuner cars the other 3 tuner cars that are coming out from the Subaru and Toyota collaboration, they have at least 200 horsepower. So I'm thinking if Chevrolet wants to stay in this tuner market, they have to bump that horsepower to at least 200.
Well, if it's going to be the same thing as a tuner, you could always upgrade that later on. Add stuff into it.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's going to be around the same price.
Oh, yeah.
Would you rather have to buy aftermarket to upgrade it, or just spend your money there?
That's true.
There has been rumors that from especially the community, like me, people that love cars, just shouting out they should just put a V6 in it. But also this car, Chevrolet has to be careful with this vehicle, because if they release it with a V6 or even a supercharged inline 4, it directly competes with the base model Camaro, which is their other car, their muscle car. So if they release these two cars, it could hurt the two companies by having two similar cars.
That's true. Yeah.
So, yesterday's V8 is today's V6. the muscle cars, especially like the what's it called, the Chevrolet Camaro, its V6 has more horsepower than like the original let's say a 1970 V8. It's just there's a lot of power and a lot of torque on those things for the newer cars. And so, I like the styling on the vehicle. I think it looks really good. It has it's rear-wheel drive, which is what I like on this vehicle. It's a 2-door model, and you can totally tell it's a concept vehicle. I mean, there's a lot of curves, and I like the aggressive front of the headlights and the grille.
I don't know why, but every time when I'm looking at this concept, for some reason I'm thinking of an RX-8.
And what is that?
Mazda RX-8.
Okay.
I don't know why. Every time I look at it, the way the lights are in the hood, compared with adding with the hood.
Well, I know Mazda has that very bubbly front end, and I think that's what Chevrolet here is trying to mimic that.
Yeah, because it really does. Like from far away, it looks like an RX-8. It really does.
Yeah, I agree. And now I remember what the RX-8 looks like, and it looks very similar to that. But you were saying what the Toyota 86.
One's an older. That one, I think they stopped that one in like 80 something. I don't know, but that one was one of the best like drifting cars that used to be around. So
it was also rear-wheel drive, a lightweight vehicle,
drive, really light. Actually, I think the total weight on the Treno was like, it wasn't even 3. It wasn't even over 3. It was not even 3. It was like 10.5 maybe, not even.
10.5 what?
Pounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even that heavy.
That's actually a very lightweight vehicle.
Exactly.
Well, on the topic of cars that they have and now they're bringing back, there's another vehicle that I'm actually very excited about because it has to deal with the collaboration between Fiat and Chrysler. And that would be the Dodge Dart. They're bringing it back for the 2013. I think the last Dodge Dart hasn't been released since 1970, which is a pretty long time.
So they're pretty much almost every company is going back to the old school cars.
I think ever since the Mustang came out with its revision, remember how the Mustang went back to making it look retro? Yeah. I think after that, those big sales, old car companies. Now this Dodge Dart looks nothing like the original Dodge Darts. It has like nothing involved. The original Dodge Darts were on full body frames. This is a unibody vehicle. This is actually using one of the new Fiat platforms. So the vehicle's chassis, the body structure, it's from a Fiat model. From overseas, but Dodge originally traded Fiat's platform for more percentage of ownership over the company. So I think it's a very nice looking vehicle. I know Boonturn, you were having an issue with it last time, right?
Yeah. It's the headlights. I don't know why. It's for some reason I don't like how it's like extends to the back. Yeah,
well, it depends on certain models, I will say. I mean, the vehicle, I like its stance. I think it looks very good. I know the back of it turns me away. I think it looks like they were building it, and then they just cut off, like when they got lazy. Yeah. But I heard it's because this vehicle shares the Fiat platform, and I think they call it an Alpha platform.
Yeah, right.
And
it says
the
right there.
European model is a hatchback.
Is it?
Yeah, and this vehicle is actually a whole foot longer than the European model. So when they did that, I guess it caused problems with the way that the end of the frame was for the unibody, so that's why the back looks like that. I believe it's still a front-wheel drive, and that's another difference from the original Dodge Dart. It was a rear-wheel drive, so this is front-wheel drive. It has 3 engine choices in here also, using I believe all of them are inline 4s though.
They're all inline?
Yeah, this is an economy car.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it makes sense.
Much different from the original Dodge Dart also. I believe that one was also aimed at economy, but that was back in the days of carburetors and really loud V6s, and inline 4s weren't a thing of the 70s either. But apparently it's going to have this vehicle is aimed toward the younger demographic. It starts at about $16,000, I believe. So it's an entry-level vehicle for Dodge.
Oh, so it's...
But it has a lot of cabin tech. I mean, it has a very unique tail lamp system in the back. It's supposed to be all LED in the back. It has.
Wait. What do you mean all? Like
the LED in the back of the tail lamp? They're all LED.
Really?
Yeah, they don't use the regular
light bulbs.
The bulbs anymore.
They're all LEDs.
They're like the Challenger and the Charger. If you notice the big tail lamp. Yeah. Well, not the Challenger. Sorry, the Charger. It's LEDs now.
Oh.
Yeah. So they're going with that. It saves energy also with the LEDs, and they're brighter. They also are going to be releasing the vehicle with dual tip exhaust pipes in the back.
Oh, that's nice.
No matter what model. They also are going to be releasing a Hyper Black wheel set, 18-inch rims on the vehicle, standard.
18-inch?
Yeah, 18-inch, which is pretty good. I mean, I remember the cars of yesteryear would be released with 14-inch rims. So it's a big upgrade from the years of before. And it'll also have heated steering wheel, a reconfigurable 7-inch gauge cluster. So your speedometer, I heard it's all video. The speedometer and the RPM gauges and all that, it's just a giant screen. So you can change
so it's all digital now.
Yeah, so what you can do is you can move stuff over. Like if you like the RPMs on the right side or whatever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so you can change that.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah. They also are going to have an 8.4-inch Unitouch, it's called the U-Touch system, which is Chrysler's infotainment system. You know, on the navigation system. That's what they call where you can play all the music, satellite
U-Touch?
Radio, HD radio. Yeah, it's called the U-Touch system.
Oh,
Similar to General Motors, OnStar system, and then I think Ford has the the Sync system for Ford. So this is their version of it. It's also going to have it's also going to have larger legroom, or at least they claim larger legroom than the Hyundai Sonata. But actually, what was funny that when this vehicle was shown at the Detroit Motor Show, they didn't allow comparisons. The other so a lot of people were speculating on going if that fact's even true. But the interior does look nice. Let me show you a picture here of the interior. It's I think the car looks nice, except for that back end. See how the back end kind of just cuts off? Yeah, I don't like that. But the interior looks nice, I think. It looks pretty roomy. It looks the interior is supposed to have soft cloth interior. It's supposed to have it's not supposed to be the hard plastics of yesteryear either. It's a very finely tuned, well-made vehicle.
Oh, it looks pretty roomy.
Here are the specs for the engines. There's the 2.0 liter. They named all their engines Tiger Sharks. So it's the Tiger Shark engine, which is rated at 160 horsepower, 148 foot-pounds of torque. Or you can have the optional 1.4-liter multi-air turbo, which is rated at the same horsepower, 140 horsepower, but you get 148 foot-pounds of torque. But you're using less gas also. So it really makes no sense. You just go with the second engine choice. It's a smaller liter. It's a 1.4.
Oh.
And you're getting more gas mileage out of it, and you get better torque. You almost get about 20 extra torque on that. So why not just go with that? Also, this car hits the 40 mpg range.
No, that's good.
And it also comes with an available, I believe, 6-speed manual. I'm trying to find it here. There's another, I'll get back to that, see if that's right. There is an available 2.4-liter multi-air 4 engine, the inline 4 engine, rated at 184 horsepower at 171 foot-pounds of torque. All three engines are built in Michigan, so the availability and the pricing shouldn't be a factor there, since they're built local. There is a 6-speed manual available, so that is confirmed. With all the engines, the turbo gets a twin-clutch 6-speed automatic option as part of a fuel efficiency package also, when it's released. But the one thing that I would be aware of, that if you are looking as a serious buyer into this vehicle, that next year Chrysler will be releasing its 9-speed automatic transmission. So if you're wanting to buy an automatic with this vehicle, I say wait another year. Because right now, 9-speed automatic from Chrysler. As of right now, it's only a 6-speed automatic. So just wait for the 9-speed because you'll get better gearing ratios, the ride will feel a lot better too. Hopefully the transmission is built right from the start. If it is, you're going to have a pretty good feeling ride.
Hopefully.
Yeah, and also better fuel efficiency with 9 speeds. That means you'll have 3 or 4 gears of overdrive. That would be pretty nice for the highway.
Oh yeah.
And again, I think that the styling on the vehicle looks very good. I know Boone Tarn disagrees with me, but I'm a fan of it. I would actually go out and buy it. I think that the instrument panel, the interior looks really good on the inside. I'm a fan of it. I would buy it in a heartbeat. I like the red, and there's that digital instrumentation. I mean, it tells you the thermometer, the RPMs, and as far as I know, you can change them the way you like, So also this red line that you see on the outside of the dash, that can be custom colored to your liking. Apparently,
really?
If you buy the special sport package, what you can do is you can customize it to where at the dealership when you buy the car and if you have the package on it, you can go, I always want that blue. So it'll always be blue no matter where you go or everything. So you can have that custom colored.
That's pretty cool.
So that's a pretty cool little option. I mean, for a small car that starts at what did I say, $16,000. That has a lot of technology and a lot of packages. Also, it has a standard 10 airbags in the vehicle. So, I mean, it's a very safe vehicle. So, I mean, for, beginner drivers that are getting a new car, that car looks pretty good, I would think, for, a parent or anybody else worried about that. Also, I'm more excited about the 6-speed manual in it. And if you are an automatic fan, you have the 9-speed automatic that will be coming out soon, later on this year. So, I mean, all the features look pretty good on that vehicle.
I don't know. I just can't get over the front end. I don't really like it.
Oh, the front end?
Yeah, I don't like it.
I have more of a problem with the back end on the vehicle.
Back end, yeah.
I mean, it just looks like someone literally chopped off the back and then kind of glued the other back on. Like if you cut your thumb off with a knife accidentally and then glued it back on. That's what it looks like to me. They should have taken a bit more time, but overall, I think the vehicle will help Chrysler gain more percentage in the auto market.
Yeah, but then again, this is a concept, so it might change.
No, this is a production vehicle.
Oh, is it already?
This is it's coming out this year.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it debuts mid 2012 as a 2013 model.
I thought this was still concept.
No, this is all production.
Okay.
So it's all finalized. That's why I have a problem with the back.
Yeah.
They should have taken a bit more time. We'll be right back. This is Speed on the B3 Radio Network.
This is the B3 Radio Network. B3 Radio Network. Visit us online at b3productionstudios.webs.com.
Welcome back to Speed on the B3 Radio Network. And again, let's just jump into it because we got a lot of news. So, Bintern, you had a story?
Well, I was kind of curious about the cars of you know how last year we did the...
Oh, yeah, on the first episode, if you'd like to check that out, you can always visit b3productionstudios.webs.com. The first episode of Speed launched last Monday. So, when we were talking about the top 10, the top 10 cars of 2011.
Yeah. And the number one car was... number one
the
car...
third spot, number 3 on the list was the Toyota... Camry, which was the number one car of 2011.
Yeah, I was kind of curious, so I looked up the 2012 model, and it's got some pretty good specs, man.
What does it have?
Okay, well, standard 10 airbags.
Seems like that's the number everyone was shooting. We just mentioned that the Dodge Dart has standard 10 airbags. Yeah. And I believe a lot of the General Motors, my truck, has a standard 10 airbags, I believe. So I think that's like the new set number.
Yep.
So
yeah, and then has comes with the USB iPod connectivity, standard Blue Logic, hands-free, whatever.
Yeah, that seems to be a lot of the standard stuff that a lot of car companies are doing.
I'm guessing they're just throwing out the old tech. The mileage, it really surprises me though. It really does. It's 25 city and 35 highway.
That's not too bad for a vehicle, but I mean that's what Toyota does. They build cars that are economically viable for the consumer, and then they sell them like crazy.
Yeah. Oh,
like I said last episode, I'll give them that. They know how to sell cars.
Yes, they do.
They know how to sell stuff. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. And then I was checking out the engine size for all the models. Labeled
just for the
Camry.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And they labeled it under every model: LS, the LE, the XLE, the SE, and all that stuff. But there's 3 different engines. The standard one is 2.5 liter 4-cylinder engine with 178 horsepower and 170 pounds per foot.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. And then there's another engine where it's a 3.5 liter V6 with 268 horsepower and 248 pounds per foot.
For a small car like that, that's a pretty
good.
Yeah, that's a pretty good chunk of horses underneath the hood.
And then they have the hybrid engine.
Do you know what? Do you have the mileage on that? I want to know what the difference between gas mileage is on those.
They didn't label it. They just put all the.
Oh really?
They just put all together. I'll look into it more later on. But,
yeah, because I want to see. I know that nowadays, like the older, like the Prius, you can get 50 mpg on that thing. I think it's like the highest you can get out of a Prius if you're driving the way you're supposed to be in a Prius. But
if you drive the way you're supposed
if you like max out your driving, it all depends. Your fuel efficiency depends on your driving habits. If you brake hard, accelerate hard, and all that good stuff. The one thing that I find interesting nowadays is that a lot of cars are reaching that 40 mpg range with just regular gasoline engines. So why even bother getting a hybrid nowadays? Also, you got to think the maintenance cost on a hybrid is going to be more. Also, you got to replace that battery pack in a couple of years, especially if it's an older vehicle where the batteries weren't made as efficiently as they are now.
I know, right?
Well, you do. Is that all you have for the Tundra? Or no, you had something on the Tundra, right?
Yeah, Well, yeah. Since I was looking up Camry, I was kind of curious to see what because I'm planning to get a Tundra.
Yeah, your future truck.
Yes, my future truck. And surprisingly, there's the cheapest model, the
base model.
The base model for the double cab. It has a 4.0 liter V6 with variable timing.
4.0 V6.
Yeah. With the variable timing, it has 270 horsepower and 278 pounds per foot, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, for the torque.
Yeah, for torque.
And is that the rear-wheel drive or the four-wheel drive?
That's the rear-wheel drive, actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's what my truck is also, a rear-wheel drive.
Comes with it also has a 5-speed automatic transmission.
Oh, that's not too bad for a base model. I mean, my truck's a 4-speed.
Is it really?
Yeah, my truck's a 4-speed.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, my truck was available with the bigger engine with a 6-speed automatic, but mine's a 4-speed as well.
Oh, okay. But you got the base model too, right?
Yeah, I have close to the base model.
Oh, close to the base model.
General Motors, I will give American car companies that they offer more models, more trim models within that one particular model of the vehicle, more than the Japanese do.
And I was also reading this too. The suspension for the Tundra, it has independent coil springs with the low pressure nitrogen gas filled suspension shocks.
Oh yeah, I forgot what the reasoning for that was. I think it's lighter than air.
Yeah, it's lighter
creates
than air.
less friction.
It's lighter than air, but it's more, I guess, more durable. I don't know.
Yeah,
it lasts longer. I guess.
I read something like that years ago.
Because I read the same thing for the tires too. If you put tires.
Yeah, I heard that if you put helium or something else in there, some other type of gas instead of air, you're supposed to get better gas mileage.
Yeah,
I never believed that, but
I know, right?
Because the amount of time that you spend buying the helium or whatever the gas is to put into the tire, you've already spent it on the gas, so just use air and just pay more gas, you know?
Yeah, but I never really believed the nitrogen is better.
Yeah, and all that.
I am curious though. I am curious to see if that is true.
Yeah, maybe we should do a test here on the show or something. Go somewhere and do that, but have it maybe like a scientist or somebody come in, a researcher from that era. Is that all you have on the Tundra?
That's pretty much all I have for now.
Okay, well, I have a story on the Tundra also. Apparently, in order to bring dealer inventories back up to pre-earthquake sales, where that tsunami hit in March.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Well, Toyota is planning to add Saturday shifts to its San Antonio factory plant until the end of March this year.
Wait, so they're going to be working 6 days a week?
6 days a week.
Making the
Tundra.
Just the Tundra itself?
Yeah, the Tundra, which I have to say that isn't a bad-looking vehicle. It is a very good-looking vehicle.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, they're going to be adding another shift. They'll be working on Saturdays, and actually their first shift starts this Saturday. Well, when you're hearing this show, it'll be after the fact, but January 21st is their first start of the Saturday shift until the end of March. And apparently, this one factory makes all, if not most, of all the Tundras in the United States, and also half the Tacomas. So that's not a pretty bad, adding a whole extra day, that's going to help a lot of people out. Oh, yeah. Also, after the natural disasters, from the tsunami, apparently the San Antonio plant was idled twice for every 3 week period.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by idle? Like
they just had to shut down the factory. They just paused it.
Oh, really?
Because they didn't have enough supplies.
Oh, wow.
Apparently, they didn't have enough. They had shortages of sensors and specialty paint. That was their main thing that kept them rolling off the trucks.
Wow.
So sensors I'm assuming for the engine, like airflow sensors and all that.
It's probably the oxygen sensor.
Yeah, that, and I guess Toyota uses a specialty kind of paint scheme. They don't really go too much into detail about the paint. I would like to know more information about that. I'll try to find that out. But apparently those were the two things. They couldn't paint the vehicle and they couldn't put sensors on it.
It's a nice looking blue.
Yeah, that is a nice looking blue. The other thing also is that apparently this year Toyota Tacoma sales were up 10.7% in December, but the Tundra sales were down 9.7% in the selling market.
I guess people transferred from the Tundra to the Tacoma then.
Yeah, and as far as I remember, the Tacoma is the smaller pickup, right?
Yes,
of
it's
the Toyota line.
I think it's the mid-size truck.
Yeah, It's apparently the Tundra and the Tacoma markets were still very good for December sales. From what after the fact of having that tsunami hit. So I mean that wasn't too bad for them, but I mean, not adding another shift, I say that should help out a lot with the market.
Oh yeah.
Another thing with talking about money is that apparently BMW will be investing $900 million in upgrading its new factory. Well, not new, but it's renovating another factory in South Carolina for its upcoming X4 vehicle. Now, last week we talked about the Chevrolet Silverado and its twin, the GMC Sierra, upgrading its plants for its next generation vehicle, the 2014. It's been confirmed now the 2014 model for the Silverado and the GMC Sierra will be upgrading. And I think I gave you the number $928 million just to renovate that one plant.
Yeah.
Well, BMW is going to be doing the same with their plant in South Carolina, and $900 million for that. And they're going to be building this vehicle, the X4. I guess a new generation of X4 apparently is going to be coming out. The BMW announced today making a major investment in the plant. Apparently, this plant, they're doing this now because this plant has made 2 million vehicles already. Just this plant alone.
Really?
Yeah, so amid that celebration, celebrating their 2 millionth vehicle rolling off the assembly line, they're going to be renovating the place.
That's pretty cool.
To build the next one, yeah. So apparently this is a crossover SUV, and it'll just raise jobs. Now to be able to produce 300,000 BMW vehicles per year in this factory alone.
Wow.
300,000 vehicles. The plant also currently produces BMW's X5, X6, and X3.
Are those all crossovers too?
I believe so. I'm not too detailed in the BMW line, but I assume if they're all the same nameplate, I think the numbers just categorize its features, like base model, luxury model, supreme model. I think that's what the X's mean. I mean, if you guys would like to correct me on that, I know some of you are probably screaming out there. You can always email the show at speedradio b3@yahoo.com. I still have to learn that email.
And we're open to opinions too.
Yeah, I mean, if you would like to suggest any cars you think we're missing, go ahead and email us that too. It is. Yeah, I think that's what the show is. SpeedRadioB3@yahoo.com. That's SpeedRadioB3@yahoo.com. Yeah, anything you would want to know. Also, I mean, we also know quite a bit on cars as well. So if you have any questions on maybe a car's making a funny noise or something, we got the future mechanic here on the show. And I know the electrical parts of the car pretty well. I usually tinker with that area. But yeah, 2 million vehicles rolling off this assembly line, making this
that's a pretty
good investment. Yeah, pretty big investment also, though. I mean, they can afford it. And another one that I guess you can afford too, apparently Rolls-Royce has their biggest sales ever in 2011.
I still can't believe they only have like 5 different models.
Yeah, they only have 5 different models.
I still can't believe that.
But the point is that each of those vehicles starts at what, $250,000?
Yeah.
I mean, minimum.
Jeez.
But yeah, Rolls-Royce rolling off the assembly lines, pretty big numbers too. Apparently, they haven't beat that record. Apparently, the last time Rolls-Royce beat a record for in 1 year selling a lot of vehicles was in 1978.
Wow, that's a while ago.
So from 1978 till 2011, they've been
33 years, man.
Really? Wow. Yeah. So for 33 years, they haven't beat their old record of selling cars in a year. And you got to think, both times it was during a recession. In the 70s, the late 70s, early 80s, there was the oil crisis. And Rolls-Royce sold a ton of vehicles, the most that the company has ever sold. And in 2011, we are not in the midst of a recession. Well, we are in the midst of a recession, but not as bad as it used to be like 2009. But the point is that in both recessions, Rolls-Royce is beating out on top. And apparently the company is about 107 years old.
Huh.
So apparently they're doing something right to stay in business, right?
Oh, yeah.
And one little tidbit, I guess, the Ford Fusion is going to be revamping its body styling for the next generation.
Again?
For its 2000. Yeah, I think the last time the Ford Fusion was remodeled was 2010, I believe.
I think didn't they redo the model like 3 times already?
I don't recall how old the Fusion body itself is.
Well, like it's like 2-3 times already, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, that isn't too surprising. Car companies
Yeah.
usually refresh the generation every couple of years anyway.
Yeah.
Some companies take longer. For instance, the Sierra and the Silverado from General Motors, they haven't revamped their truck styling since 2007, and they're not going to until 2014. So, I mean, that's about 6 to 7 years of, of not touching the body at all. But it's either a miss or hit with this vehicle, though. I mean, it's either revolting or it's refreshing. The way you look at the body styling, the car looks a lot like an Aston Martin to me with its front end, with the grille.
Oh wow, it does.
Yeah, I mean,
it really does.
It looks like the Aston Martin DBS.
I didn't think.
Or I'm a James Bond fan from 2002's Die Another Day. The Aston Martin V12 Vanquish. That looks a lot like it. And if you really think about it, well, Ford had a partnership with Aston Martin for a few years. Not that that really matters, but I just find it as an interesting tidbit that this vehicle looks very similar to an Aston Martin. I mean, it almost looks like it's ripping it off with that front end.
Kind of does.
In comparison to the last generation's headlamps, I mean, they're much more aggressive. You can see right there, this is 2010 through 2012 model Ford Fusion, which I was a fan of. I always enjoyed that big stainless steel front end grille and the body styling, but the new one's going to be looking like an Aston Martin.
I know. I kind of like the older one better. The one before this one.
Yeah, the 2010, right? The blue. At least here it's pictured in blue.
The 2010. I kind of like that one better.
Yeah, I like the front end better on that. I think because it looks more conventional, because this vehicle is not meant to be a roadster. It's not meant to be a supercar. It's just a commuter car that has some luxury features in it, maybe. That's about it.
Well, yeah, the stereo system and pretty much the electronics.
Actually, yeah, the new model is getting an upgrade, so it'll have all the latest in sync, My Ford Touch.
Oh, wow.
Everything... All electronics are supposed to be in there, but I heard that the interior really hasn't changed. They're only redoing the outside, but I believe they just redid the interior for the Fusion anyway. So there's only small little things. I don't think the vehicle's width or length has changed either. They're still using the same platform that the previous model used.
If it's gonna be like that, I'd rather go with the 2010.
Yeah, the 2010 I think looks a lot nicer. If you put them side by side.
Yeah, I'd rather go with that one instead of the new one, because the new one, it's kind of ripping everything off.
I'd rather just buy a Vanquish. I'd rather just buy an Aston Martin then. I mean, I can't afford one, but I'd rather just go buy one of those. All right, this is Speed on the B3 Radio Network. Don't forget, you can always check the website for everything that the B3 Radio Network has to offer. You can check that out at b3productionstudios.webs.com, or you can also send us an email here at the Speed, which is speedradiob3@yahoo.com. So let's go ahead and end the show. This is Speed on the B3 Radio Network.